Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're gonna learn how to change the sky. Yup, we're gonna learn how to completely replace the sky in some of our photos. And pro tip, it's really easy. Okay, so you guys are probably here if you took a dope photo, but the sky is kind of like whatever, but your photo is dope. And you're probably thinking, if my dope photo had a dope sky, then it would be super dope. Well, don't worry, because I'm going to teach you guys. And I just want to say it's crazy how powerful editing softwares are getting. When I first started learning how to edit on Photoshop and I wanted to replace a sky, I had to completely do it manually. So the fact that there's an entire tool within Photoshop now that'll help you replace skies, and it's able to completely recognize through artificial intelligence what part of your photo is the sky and what part of your photo is the foreground, and it knows exactly what to select and change, is so wild to me because it's completely like magic. You literally click a button and the entire sky changes, and it does this all for you automatically, which is super cool, especially for beginners who just want to dive into Photoshop. They don't want to get too much into the weeds and they just want to do some simple adjustments. The fact that I'm just saying that changing a sky is now a simple adjustment should tell you how powerful this tool is. Anyways, let's dive into Photoshop and I'm going to show you guys how to change skies right now. Okay, so we'll start off with this picture that I took in Morocco, and I actually took this before I was into photography, so settings all suck. It was taken in JPEG and it's taken on an iPhone 10. Now I'm actually using this older photo to kind of show you guys the power of Photoshop and to show you that you don't need the fanciest camera, you don't need to shoot in RAW to make this little trick work. So anyways, I actually love this photo, and we were actually on a desert tour and our tour guide took us up to the top of the mountains to show us snow in Morocco before taking us to the desert. And my mind was freaking blown. Like, I had no idea that Morocco even had snow. But you guys probably don't care about any of that and you're like, when is he gonna show us? So let's do that now. So first off, I do have a disclaimer. You do need the latest version of Photoshop, so Photoshop 2021 and whatever the latest version is, to make this little trick work. Otherwise, you're not even gonna see the option for sky replacement within your Photoshop application. Okay, cool. So now that we have that out of the way, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna go to the top, you wanna click edit, and then you wanna scroll down to sky replacement. Now, when you first click this, you're gonna notice the software definitely buffers a little bit depending on the speed of your computer, but you just wanna give it a second to load up. Now, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna have this little panel appear over here, and this is where you're gonna make all of your adjustments to replace your sky. So right off the bat, Photoshop has a bunch of built-in skies that you can use to replace the existing sky in your composition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, I'm going to click on this little arrow next to sky, and it's going to open up all the skies that Photoshop has available built in. So I'm just going to scroll down through blue skies until I find something I like and I think is going to fit well in this photo. And this one over here is looking pretty good. So as soon as I select it, you're gonna see the entire sky in the photo change. And that's incredible. You're gonna see that I didn't really do anything special. I literally just picked the sky that I wanted, and the software is automatically able to recognize what parts of the image that it needs to change, so it only affects the sky. Now, usually once I replace my sky, I'll play around a little bit with the brightness and the temperature just to match the colors to the scene. So in this specific image, I do notice that the sky is a little bit darker than the actual photo, so I can go ahead and move the brightness up a little bit. I want to make it a little bit more blue to match the overall scene. And then I think for this specific lighting mode, screen might look better. And yeah, you're gonna notice that it just blends better with the whiteness of the mountains. And then depending on how harsh I want the separation to be, I'll go ahead and change the lighting adjustment or the color adjustment to just kind of play around with how I want the image to look. But overall, this sky replacement is looking pretty good to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit OK. And you're gonna notice that it generates all of the extra layers that Photoshop creates in the background to make the sky replacement happen, and it just groups them all in this little sky replacement group. And that's literally it. It does every single step for you, and it completely replaces the sky, and it's literally that easy. And just to show you guys a quick before and after of what it looked like before I changed the sky, here it is. Also, I just wanted to add, if you guys don't like any of the skies that come built in with Photoshop, you're actually able to import your very own skies. And it's super easy to do. So you want to go back to that same sky replacement panel as before. You're going to click that down arrow next to sky, and you're going to notice that there's this little plus folder button at the bottom. So if you click that, you're able to import any sky that you want directly from there. So if you guys have taken some photos of skies that you really love and you would love to use those to replace some other skies and some other photos that don't have such great skies, you can definitely do that. Also, because this method is so fun and easy, let's do it on one more picture. So we're gonna jump back into Photoshop. Okay, so this is another photo I took in Morocco, also before I was a photographer, also taken on an iPhone 10 and also in JPEG format. And I personally love this photo. I was so happy with it. I think it's perfectly framed, there's tons of texture, and it's just perfect in my opinion. Also, this video was not supposed to be about my trip to Morocco. You guys don't care about that. You're here to learn how to replace skies. So let's get back to that. So once again, we're gonna go into edit at the top. We're gonna go ahead and click sky replacement. And once again, the panel is gonna pop up and it's just gonna pick the last default sky that we had chosen for our previous image, and it's just gonna automatically apply it to this image. Now, you're gonna notice that the lighting effect is a lot more prominent on this image because of the different levels of shadows, and it's just a closer image than the other one. So it definitely affects the whole lighting of the image as well, which is really, really cool. It actually tries to sense the scene and sense the mood that you would go for if you were to pick that sky. So that actually saves you a lot of steps in Photoshop that you guys wouldn't otherwise think about, because if you're just manually cutting out the sky and changing it, then you have to manually go in and change the lighting of the entire scene to go ahead and reflect that sky. So Photoshop does an excellent job of doing this automatically. Now this photo was actually taken around sunset, so I don't want to go with the same blue sky as last time. So once again, I'm going to go into my sky menu over here. I'm going to close this little folder, and then you're going to notice that I have the sunset folder open. Again, all of these images come stock with Photoshop. I didn't add any of these on my own. So if I go ahead and I scroll down a little bit, these are all the sunset photos. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the top, and I actually think that this one will work really well. So I go ahead and click on that one, and boom, instantly it fills up the entire screen, replaces the sky perfectly, and I actually think that looks really good, and I really like that particular sky. We're just gonna make a little bit of few lighting adjustments that are gonna make that sky perfectly fit our scene now. So I think I'm gonna lower the temperature because it's a little bit too orange. So I'm gonna bring back some of that blue. I'm gonna lower a little bit of the brightness because again, it was taken around sunset. And honestly, I think that looks great, and the image actually looks significantly better now because that previous sky was completely empty. There was no clouds or anything. It was just blue. And this really helps sell the effect of sunset a lot better than the previous sky. So just so you guys get an understanding, you're able to see it really quickly, here's the before and after. And that's it, guys. So hopefully if you guys thought that Photoshop was this super complicated trick and you needed to be a Photoshop expert to do it, hopefully this video changed your mind and you'll be replacing skies with no problems at all now. As always, if you guys learned something in this video, leave a like at the bottom of the page, smash that like button. It really helps out the video. If you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff and you want to keep hanging out with me, please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Other than that, that's all I have for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, keep creating.